All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s CEO Leonard Ellerbe in response to Canelo Alvarez, and in it talks about his pay-per-view numbers, which have to be the biggest failure in the history of U.S. promotion on the part of Eddie Hearn, when Eddie Hearn is talking about how big Canelo GGG is compared to Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Little bit of a convoluted lead in, but trust me, it's going to be worth it. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, man, I'm telling you, all I can say is wow, wow, wow. Great exchange took place on Twitter today with the Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s CEO, Leonard Ellerbe, in response to Eddie Hearn and the Gennady Golovkin-Canelo Alvarez fight, comparing it to the Terrence Crawford-Errol Spence Jr. fight. And I'm telling you, wow. Before I get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're a longtime subscriber and supporter, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for your support. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. All right, coach. So here it is. If you pay any attention to boxing whatsoever, you would notice that pretty much the only thing that anybody's talking about in this kind of dead period between big fights is the Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford fight and whether that fight is going to be made. Now, in the same time that so many people are interested in what's going on with this fight, there's another fight that has already been announced for September 16th or 17th, and that is the fight with Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin. Eddie Hearn managed to get out of his pie hole, and I mean pie hole as disrespectfully as I possibly can, got out of his pie hole that Gennady Golovkin versus Canelo Alvarez, or Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin, is 10 times the size of the fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. Now, if you are any way, shape, or form a boxing fan at all, you know that that is absolutely positively ridiculous. However, in response to this, Leonard Ellerbe laid out some numbers for U.S. satellite and cable pay-per-view for Canelo Alvarez's last fight, which are stunning. And not only will show you and prove to you that there is no way on this planet that Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin 3 is anywhere near as big a fight as Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. It is so bad that it is literally less than half of the U.S. pay-per-view sales of Gervonta Davis and less than 1/2 of the pay-per-view sales for Errol Spence Jr. and Yordenis Ugas. And when I mean less than half of the numbers, I mean less than half of the conservative numbers. I'm talking about less than half of the 245 or 250 that people in the mainstream media, who I think are a little bit conservative, gave for those fights. 120,000 people bought Canelo Alvarez versus Dimitri Bivol in the United States on the DAZN pay-per-view. If those numbers are true, and that's what Leonard Ellerbe is saying, I'm telling you, it is one of the most monumental flops that you could possibly have in sports, okay? Canelo Alvarez, in his last fight when it was promoted by Showtime, the word on the street was that he had done 800,000 pay-per-views. to have 800,000 pay-per-views on Showtime drop to 120,000 pay-per-views is a drop of 680,000 less viewers in the United States for the Canelo Alvarez versus Bivol fight versus Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant. That is absolutely horrific. I am just amazed. Now, this is Leonard Ellerbe. Now, and Leonard Ellerbe is saying, he said, look, you can hate, you do not have to hate the message. This is facts. So, and his numbers. Now, again, I say this with all pay-per-view numbers, and I know some of y'all that just read the title and don't really get into the video, won't make it this far. Of course, pay-per-view numbers are never officially reported, the actual numbers, right? Say that all the time. And also, Leonard Ellerbe had said 300,000 for Canelo Alvarez versus Dimitri Bivol before. Now, where could the other 180,000 pay-per-views come from? The rest of the world. The rest of the world was and if it was available in Mexico, right? Because it was pay-per-view in Mexico. I don't know if it was DAZN in Mexico or if it was the local providers. So if you get 120,000 from the United States and you get 180,000 from Mexico, that's, oh my goodness, man, that is such a poor performance. And I'm telling you, it is connected for two reasons. One, Eddie Hearn cannot promote in the United States, is not good at it. I don't care what you say. He has not had a big, successful fighter in the United States yet. Leonard Ellerbe said that before, but the more important aspect of it is the competition level for Canelo Alvarez. It has been years since Canelo Alvarez has fought anybody that a lot of people actually wanted to see him fight. Acting as if he had already made it. He's the man. Canelo's going to sell tickets no matter what Canelo Alvarez does. And then running him off with a litany of who done it and whys, like Rocky Fielding, Yildirim, Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, throw Caleb Plant in there, but at least Caleb Plant did halfway decent numbers, and it was on Showtime where people could see it. And then now Dimitri Bivol, no disrespect to Dimitri Bivol, now and to boot, he got beat. So the idea that he is going to now have Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez is somehow going to be bigger than Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Crawford, 10 times bigger, is just ridiculous. First of all, Gennady Golovkin, Canelo Alvarez, the first one only did 1.1 million, right around there. And that's what Oscar De La Hoya said. Don't even know if that's true. And the second fight actually did less views than the first. So, he better hope it's 10 times bigger than than Bivol and Canelo Alvarez. But seeing as Errol does roughly 300,000 himself by conservative estimates, 10 times that size is 3 million. You know full well 3 million people are not about to buy Gennady Golovkin on DAZN. In the words of the young people that come by on my channel all the time and call me a Devin Haney hater, that is what you call super cap, Captain Crunch, Captain Kirk, any other type of caps you want to name, graduation cap, baseball cap, whatever. Little caps laying on the ground, dog. Please, cap, all of it is what that is. But I got to tell you, man, that is amazing, amazing fall for Canelo Alvarez because, in my opinion, of the competition that he is fighting. You need two people to get into a boxing ring to keep people's interest, and it also needs to be shown where people can actually see you. Hiding away Canelo Alvarez for 3 years on an app with nobody subscribed to it and fighting people that nobody knows, nobody cares about just because he's giving them a bunch of cash is great for Canelo Alvarez's pocketbook. But as far as what his name recognition is and if he ever actually wants to go out there and have a big, it's terrible for him, man. Wow, what a big fall off. Anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.